Hey there, thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be working on my Color Wednesday blog post for November 23rd, 2016. We will be using this adorable Moe's digital pencil image called Toyshop Helper. I will put a link down in the description box to the image if you would like to head over and grab one and color along with me. If you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, I have printed my image on Nina 80-pound solar white cardstock, so let's color. Alright, so let's give him an outline first. For that, we're going to use W0, 00, and the colorless blender. And I'm going to start with my W0. And I'm just going to go all the way around. So I'm going to start down here at his shoe. And go all the way around to the other side. And if you do it first, if you get some on your image and you want to erase it, you are able to do that without having to worry about bleeding colors from your image out into the background. Most of the time these are so light that I put around there that I don't even worry if I get it on there. I just leave it. And then we want to go down here. Let's go in between his leg here, and then up his shoe. And then we also want to go around our little caterpillar bug. Okay, then we're going to grab W00. And we're going to add on to that. So I'm going to turn my little guy here a little bit. And I'm just going to do a few little circles and bring it out here just a bit. I want my background to be just a little bit whiter this time. But I'm making sure to touch the W0 when I go in my circle so that it will soften the edge there. And we want to go in here, fill this in. And let's get down in here. Fill that in. Then I'm going to grab my colorless blender. And we're going to, I'm going to just touch down on top of my person, and I'm going to swipe out past all, or the last two colors. So nothing too fancy. I'm just going to go out here, and this way to kind of smush all those colors together and soften that edge. And if you got some on your image that you hated, you can just rub it right off. Make sure to get in here. And if you have any spots that you feel that you need to go over again, just rub right over that again. Soften it just a little bit more on this side. And then give it a second to dry. Next, let's do his skin. For that, I'm going to use E21, 00, 000, and for his cheeks, I'm going to use R20 and 30. I'm going to start with my E21, and let's start on his hand here. And get a little bit closer. Okay, so I'm going to go with my E21 first, and I'm going to brush a little bit down here on his hand and underneath of his sleeve. And then his other hand over here, let's do a little dab on his thumb and a little bit on each of these fingers. And right here on his shirt, he's got a little bit of his belly showing. So I'm going to brush that. Then I'm going to grab E00. And I'm going to fill the rest of those in. And just a little bit on his hand over here. And then we'll hop up here and we'll do his face. So again, I want to start with my E21. And let's do a little bit here on his ear. And then I'm going to do the inside of this spot of his ear. And then for his face, let's go like this and pull it down away from his hat. And he's got a little bit of a crease on his mouth right here, so I'm going to give that a little bit of color. Then I'm going to grab E00. And let's brush on his ear a little bit. And then on this one. And then for his face, I'm just going to brush down away from my E21. And let's go a little bit here on the side. Like that. Then we're going to grab E000. And we're going to add a little bit of that. So let's cover his ear. And then add a little bit to his face. Then we're going to add cheek colors. So let's do R20 first. And I'm going to do that. He's got a little line here on his under his eye. So I'm going to use that as my guide. Same for this side. And then I want to add R30. So I'm going to soften this R20, so I'm just going to flick red on the edge of that. And then I want to do my skin tones again, so I'm going to grab E21. And let's do his ear. Inside there. And then I'm just going to brush down like I did before away from his hat. And then we want to add E00. And then we'll go over his whole face with our E000. For his hair, I'm going to use N8 and 5. I'm going to start with my N8. And let's see, let's brush away from his hat a little bit. And then I'm going to do a tiny dab of my N5. We'll fill that the rest of the way in. Next, I'm going to do the fur on his hat, the pom-pom on his hat, and the alternate stripes on his shirt and his socks. So for that, we're going to use W53100 and the colorless blender. I'm going to start up here on his hat, and I'm going to start with my W5. And for that, he's got a little dab. Well, I guess I already painted it in with his hair color, but right here was a little spot of hat. And then I'm going to use that right in here, like so. And then I'm going to grab W3, and we're going to fill this in. Then we're going to take our W3, and let's see, let's do a little bit right here. And then where his hat kind of dips right here, I'm going to give this a little dab of W3. And then let's see here. Let's do here. And up right here. Let's see here. I'm going to bring this out to the end of this line right here. And then I also want to do on top of these. And then let's add a little color coming from this way. Okay, then we're going to add W1. And then we're going to soften these. Then I'm going to add W00. And then we're going to do our Color the Splendor. And for that, I just want to soften the edges of that W00. Then I'm going to go back with my W3. And I'm going to put some of this dark back in there. Then I'm going to leave his hat like that, and we're going to go down here and let's do this little pom-pom on his hat next. So since I have W3, let's start with that. And then I'm going to grab W1. W00. And then I'm going to soften all that with my Color the Splendor. Then we'll hop up here and we will do the stripes on his shirt. So let's start with our W3. And I'm going to pick a stripe. So let's start with this middle one in his shirt right here on his collar. And then we're going to skip that one. We'll do this one. He's got a little wrinkle in his shirt, so I'm going to do a little dab right there. and then you make sure to skip one. And then on the inside, let's do this one. And that's his belt over here, so let's do this one over here. And then we are going to grab W1. And we'll add that next. And then we'll add W00. And then we will do our colorless blender. So I just want to soften this ends of my W00. And then we'll go down here and we'll do his socks. So again, grab your W3. And let's see, let's pick a stripe. So let's do this one closest to his pants right here. And then over here, let's do this opposite one. And then we're going to add W1. W00. And then our colorless blender. Next, we're going to do his hat, the alternate stripes on his shirt and socks, and some of the parts on the caterpillar. So let's go ahead and start up here on his hat. And for this, we're going to use R24, 05, 14, and 32. I'm going to start with my R24. I'm going to do a little bit of that right along the top of his hat. Oh, sorry, forgot. R24. Forgot I was trying to remember to show the colors so everybody would know what I'm talking about. And let's go bring this down a little bit right here. Then we're going to come down in here. I'm going to go right along the edge of my hat. And then I want to bring this out and down this way. And then I'm going to go on this side of the wrinkle. Exaggerate this one a little bit. And then I want to bring this one around. And this one. Okay. Then we're going to add R05. So let's hop up here at the top. I just want to add a little dab of that right along the edge. And then I'm going to bring this around the edge of my hat. And then we want to soften this edge. And we're going to go right down here. Then I want to add R14. So I'm going to leave these up here white so I can use my last color. So let's start down here. Okay, and then we're going to add R32. So let's go up here. I'm just going to swipe over the entire red part. And then I'm going to add my R24 back in. And I'm going to leave his hat like that. And then we're going to go down here and do the stripes on his shirt. So since I have R24, we're going to start with that. And he's got a little wrinkle in his sleeve right here, so I want to add a little dab of that over there. And then let's see, this is his cuff. And then he's got a little dab of shirt showing right here in between his overall strap. And let's see, is there any more red over there? Nope, that's it. Okay, so now we're going to go with R05. Then we're going to grab R14. And then we're going to fill in the rest of the way in with our R32. Okay, then let's grab our R24 again, and we're going to do his sock stripes. So down, let's see, down here, we'll get these stripes on his socks. So he's got a little bit of a stripe showing right here at the top underneath of his pants. I'm going to go ahead and just color that one in, and then we'll add some down here. And then we're going to grab R05. And then we're going to grab R14. And then we're going to fill it in with our R32. And then on this one right here, I'm going to grab my R24 again, and I'm going to fill in this little bitty stripe right here. Make that be a wrinkle underneath that top one there. Then we're going to go over here, and let's do this little ball right here. I'm going to fill that in. And on his little shoes down here, we're also going to use that on this little star. Okay, and then we're going to go over here and we're going to do this bug. So we're going to do right underneath his head right here. And then we're going to do every other one. So let's do this one. And then we want to add R05. And I'm going to fill in the rest of these little triangles right here first. And as long as I got the R05 out, let's go up here and I'm going to do this top paintbrush. I'm going to fill that in. Then we'll add some to our bug, or our caterpillar. Then we want to add R14. And lastly, we want to fill those in with our R32. Then, let's see, let's grab our R24 again, and I'm going to fill in these little antennae. For his pants and his shoes, we're going to use YG 97, 95, and 93. I'm going to start with my YG 97. And let's do his pants here first. I want to color this little strap right here red. I forgot that, so I'll come back and do that in a second. A little bit like that. And then we're going to go around. Let's do his little overalls here too, or his little strap before I forget. And then we'll go down here. Let's go around his hand. And he's got a little bit of his pants showing right here in between his tie for his apron. And then right in between his ties, you can see his pants. Let's go ahead and fill that in. And then we're going to bring this around the apron. And around this strap. We don't want to color that strap. Then we're going to add YG95. And then YG93. And as long as I got this color out, I'm going to do this paintbrush with that. Color that in. And then let's go down here and we will do his shoes. So let's grab YG97. And I think I'll bring this out here a little bit. And then on this side, and underneath of his little ankle there, or his little top for his boot, the little turnover. And then we want to grab YG95. And then we'll fill that in with our YG93. And I also want to make sure to get the bottom. Let's do this little strap on his pants I forgot. For that, we're going to use our 24 and 14. So we're going to start with this. And let's do up and around this button and a little bit down towards his pants. And then I'm going to grab our 14 and fill it the rest of the way in. And I didn't bother coloring that little button. I just left it like that, but you could color it whatever color you would like. Let's do the other parts of our bug up here. So for that, we're going to use E44, 43, 42, and 41. I'm going to start with my E44. So let's do that right here. And then for his face, I'm going to go right along this bottom edge. And then I want to add E43. And let's bring this up. And then we're going to add E42. I'm going to add a little dab to this back one. I fill this one in because it's kind of bent. And then we're going to fill it the rest of the way in with our E41. And I'm going to grab my E44 again. I'm going to add that back in. And then I'm going to do E43 again. Just on his face. I'm going to leave those in the back dark like they are. And then I want to add E42. And then our E41. And for his cute little cheeks there, I'm going to do those with our, turn it around, R32. And as long as I have my E44 out, we're going to do this. We're going to hop over here, and we're going to color in the sticks on the paintbrush. And this one. And then we're going to add a little dab to our hammer. So let's do these little stripes right here. And then we'll add a little bit on this little circle line that's already on there. And then we're going to do E42 to fill in the rest of our hammer. Right over that. Nothing too fancy. For the wheels on our caterpillar, we're going to use W9, 7, 5, and 1. I'm going to start with my W9. And for that, let's start right up here. And then I want to do a little dab coming up from this. And then for my wheels, let's do and then I want to do a little bit and for the back wheel, let's do in here. And then again, we want to color in part of the wheel part. And then we're going to grab W7. Let's add a touch of that. And then we're going to add W5. then we're going to take W1 and fill in the inner wheels and this little bar right here. Let's go over here and do his little apron. For that, we're going to use E34, 31, and 30. I'm going to start with my E34. Let's do a little dab of that over here on this apron that's showing. And then we'll do a little bit on these little bows. And then for his apron, let's do this little strap. And then I want to go down and around the pocket. And then we want to add E31. So a little dab over here. And then for his pocket, let's do that, and then we'll fill it in with our E30. Let's do the ruler next. We're going to use C3 and C0. We're going to start with our C3. And let's just go down the back and across the edge next to his little pouch. And while I get this out, I'm also going to color in the tips or the little metal pieces of these paint brushes. Then I'm going to go with my C0 to fill in the rest of my ruler. And then I'm going to add a second coat of my C3. And then I'm just going to leave it on there like that. Let's do the ground next. For that, we're going to use W3, 1, and 00. I'm going to start with my W00. And let's just give him something to stand on. So I'm going to go up here past his shoe a little bit. And I'm going to flick in here in the middle. Whoops, and I touched that little strap there and got some red out here. That's no good. Got to be a little bit more careful, Heather. And be careful going around your wheels there because those are really dark too. Okay, now I'm going to do W3. So for W3, let's go underneath of his shoe. And then we want to go across from this one. And we also want to bring it around this side. And then we want to do each one of these little wheels for our little caterpillar. And then I want to add W1. So I just want to soften the edge of that W3, so I'm just going to lightly touch down and go around the edges. Careful going around that strap again. And then I'm going to go over it a second time with my W00. Bring this out a little bit past that little, his bow, his tie. Forgot what it's called. So there's our adorable Toyshop helper all colored up. Isn't he just adorable? I love him. If you'd like to see what I did with this little image on the finished card, head over to the store blog and view blog post for November 26th of 2016, and you can see how I whipped him up. If you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment, and I will get back to you. Otherwise, I hope you had fun coloring today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.